Hey, it's Alex, and I am here for the Good Girl Gone Wife second Blogiversary post. I am going to answer your questions. I have the microphone because my computer doesn't have a built-in mic for some reason. So in order for you to hear what I'm saying, it's necessary. So I'm not just being pretentious and trying to be like, oh, I'm talking to a microphone. You know, it's just necessary. Also, if my voice sounds a little scratchy, it's because I've been sick for a couple of weeks. I'm just now starting to get over it. I'm just down to like a scratchy throat and a cough. So if I sound strange, that's why. And my glasses, I tilted them a little bit to try to reduce the glare. Don't know how effective it'll be, but, we'll go with it. Just know that I do have eyeballs underneath the glare from the screen. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump in. I've been asking you guys to send me questions for the past week or so, and you did. So I'm going to answer them for you, okay? What is your biggest pet peeve? My biggest pet peeve is definitely people not using their turn signals. It's annoying, and it's a safety issue. I can tell you how many times I've almost gotten into a wreck because someone feels the need to change lanes and try to cut you off when you're going down the road and they don't put their signal on to let you know they're going to be moving over. And I tend to get a little road ragey. Tom will back you up on that, but nothing makes me more road ragey than the lack of turn signals. Also incredibly annoying is when people use the letter U instead of spelling out Y-O-U, or U-R for your. That's annoyed me since I was in high school. Since the whole thing first started. I've always thought it was stupid. It's not that much more to put a couple extra letters, And I think it just makes people look uneducated, and it looks sloppy, and I don't like it. And I refuse to use it, and I will sit here and just silently be, glaring daggers at you through the screen if you use it when speaking to me. In a text or an email or whatever. I don't like it. It sounds a little harsh maybe, but I don't like it, So I guess if you are wondering how you can get on my nerves, now you know. When are you planning to start trying to conceive again? Well, we are actually going to start now. Well, not this second, obviously, because that would be creepy if I'm all like, hey, let's try to have baby making sex while I'm in the middle of this thing. Plus Tom's not here. He's in Chicago. So, but we are now starting to start back up. Trying to get my cycle regular and hopefully ovulating and start temping again, which I've been taking a break from temping for almost a year now. But, it wasn't having a period. There wasn't any point in it. But hopefully, we'll be able to, make this thing happen in the next few months. I have a good feeling that it might, but my feelings don't always tend to be accurate. But I'm really hoping this one is, because I really want to be a mother. You guys know that. You read my blog, obviously, so you know my thoughts on that. Do you go to church? Yes, we actually went this morning, and if you're watching this on Monday, I'm recording this on Sunday. But we went this morning. We like our church. We've been going since Easter. Before we got together, I attended church regularly. He did not. When we moved to Lafayette, I was feeling very shy and freaked out about trying to find a new church. He wasn't interested in going, and I didn't want to go by myself, and we finally ended up going, at Easter. Some friends of ours invited us, and he liked it as much as I did. It was very similar to my home church, so it made me feel comfortable. Actually, this morning we sang a couple songs we used to sing back home. So it was definitely a much smoother experience than I originally thought it would be. But it's been nice to go back and be back in church and be around other people. Goodness, I need social interaction with people other than my husband on occasion, and I'm sure he feels the same way. So it's been nice, to get out and be with friends, and meet some new people. Haven't met a lot of new people yet, but we will. What's your favorite workout? I really like these two machines that they have at my gym for your thighs and your butt. It's the hip abduction and the hip adduction. It basically involves you opening your legs really wide and closing them. So, I mean, I was joking around to a girl on the other machine the first time I used them. I felt like I was, like, in training to be a whore. You know? It's like, open, close, open, close. You know, but, you can really feel it. I mean, I feel it all the way up the back of my thigh, the inside of my thigh. I mean, you definitely feel like you got to work out. And I'm really hoping that it'll make it so that I am comfortable wearing shorts by the end of summer. I've always had large thighs and don't like making other people have to look at them. So I normally keep them covered up. But I have noticed them getting smaller. And hopefully that'll just continue to happen throughout the summer. I really like the bike a lot. I think it's called a recumbent bike, something like that. It's the one where you kind of lean back and pedal without like having to hold on. I like that one a lot. And I've been doing that one a lot lately since I've been sick. It hasn't been too taxing on my body. I didn't want to put my body into too much stress while I was, still pretty sick. So I've been doing that one a lot. Sorry, Archie's moving around. Distracted. But I enjoy that as well. And I actually did the elliptical yesterday, which I hadn't done in a while, because the elliptical kicks my butt. And normally in a way where I'm like 2 minutes in and I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? But I didn't get winded at all yesterday. I did 10 minutes, which might not sound like much, but for me it's kind of a big deal just because like I said, I can barely usually go 2 minutes without doing it. So I think that's a good sign that my health is improving. Tom does like an hour, but he also doesn't do like strength training or anything. He says that he's built better for the elliptical than I am. That's why he has an easier time of it. But I'm really hoping that, it's just meaning that, I'm getting healthier, I'm getting stronger, and I'm going to try to go longer the next time I'm on it. I think I'm going to try to do it more often because that thing is good for torching the calories. I mean, it's like the most effective workout, other than the arc trainer, which I did try once and thought I was going to die. So I think I'm definitely going to try to do the elliptical a little bit more. I like it's easier on my knees. Like, I've been trying to do the couch to 5K thing again on the treadmill, but it's been tearing my knees up a bit, and so I've been backing down from that, especially when I've been sick. So I'm hoping maybe losing a few more pounds will make it easier for me to try to run, because I would really like to do a 5K this summer. Yeah. I like yoga a lot too. I haven't done it as much recently, but I'm going to be starting back up. Some fertility yoga, actually. So we'll see how that works out. Do you like your job? I love my job. If you're watching this and you don't know, I teach preschool, which I used to do as well. But when we moved to Lafayette, I was having trouble getting a preschool job. But I love it. And this year was a little more difficult for me. I'd never had any ESL kids before, and this year 2/3 of my students were Asian immigrants who didn't speak English. Mostly Korean, but I also had a few Chinese students and a Japanese student. And so that was definitely an adjustment for me. But I feel like it helped me prepare better for next year when, as of right now, I have more American kids than anything. Which will be easier, of course, but I'll be a little better prepared to handle the ESL kids. I loved the kids, and I'm really sad that I'm not going to have them in my class next year because I'm staying in the same room. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to enjoy the break, obviously. We don't start up again until after Labor Day, though we start preparing our classrooms in the middle of August. But, yeah, I'm going to make the most of my days off. But I'm definitely going to miss teaching this summer as well. So I'm looking forward to going back in the fall and making some changes and seeing how things go. I'm going to have a new co-teacher next year. My co-teacher is moving to North Carolina. Her husband's in the Coast Guard. And I know you're probably like, where's the Coast Guard in Indiana? But he was going through a course at Purdue. And he graduated. So now they're leaving. And I'm sad because I love her. But, yeah, she can't really control where the military sends her. So it'll be interesting. But hopefully it'll go pretty smoothly. The woman I'm going to be teaching with next year is actually the mother of one of the kids we had this year. And she went to the conference with us last month, so got to know her a little better, and hopefully, we'll just be able to figure out our little rhythm and how things are going to work for us in our classroom and make it happen. If you could take a trip anywhere, where would you go? That's a hard one because I've always kind of wanted to go everywhere. I've always wanted to take a trip to see all 50 states. Not sure how many I've seen, less than 20. And most of those weren't until I was older, I would love to go to France. I've always been obsessed with all things French, which my mother never seems to forget because I feel like every time she gives me any gift, it is always either Hello Kitty or something with an Eiffel Tower on it. And then, my mom gives me all these Hello Kitty presents and then is all like, you have too much Hello Kitty stuff for a 20-something-year-old woman. And I'm like, I only have all this Hello Kitty stuff because you give it to me. Because she's the only person who gives me Hello Kitty stuff. But, I don't know. I love my mom. She's weird. I'd also really love to go to Ireland. My family is a lot of things, but mostly Irish. And I've always identified as being Irish, and so I would love to go to Cork and Clare and see all the places my family came from, try to soak it up a little bit and appreciate where I'm from, because that's always something that's been important to me. My mother, if nothing else, my mother has always instilled a love and appreciation for our family history in me. And so I'd love to, go see all the places my family came from. Not just in Ireland, but Ireland most of all, but all the other places as well. And I'd like to go to Prague. My family's not Czech at all. We're not any kind of Eastern European, but I would love to go to Prague. I wanted to go to Prague on our honeymoon. Obviously, we didn't have any honeymoon, let alone a European one. But it's beautiful. And it's so old, and there's so much history, and I think it'd be really amazing to go. What is your favorite social media site? It's always been Facebook. I've had a Facebook for quite some time now. When I first got my Facebook, you had to have a college email address to join, and I went to boarding school at Ball State my junior year of high school, so I had a Ball State email address, and that's how I was able to get one before everybody else. But Instagram's really growing on me lately. If you follow me on Instagram, shameless plug by the way, Instagram.com/goodgirlgonelife, you'll notice that I've been using Instagram a lot more lately. Like yesterday when I went to the melting pot and took 7 million pictures. Okay, it's a bit of an exaggeration, and I tried to control myself, but I took some pictures. I think it's fun to see everybody else's, day-to-day life happenings and to share mine. Sometimes people actually care, so that's fun. But I'm really starting to like Instagram a lot more than I used to. I used to think it was kind of dumb, but it's fun, but I'm not gonna go crazy and get all these other crazy photo apps and things like that. I'm fine with just Instagram. What's your favorite song? Oh, my favorite song of all time is the acoustic version of Nobody Puts Baby in the Corner by Fall Out Boy. And I say the acoustic version because it's a lot better than the regular version, which was released on From Under the Cork Tree. The acoustic one was on, I think it was an EP, maybe an LP, something like that. You know, like one of the pre-actual album things, called "My Heart Will Always Be the B-Side to My Tongue," and it's beautiful. I mean, my grandma probably wouldn't really think it was beautiful, especially if she listened to the words, but it's beautiful to me. And Tom hates Fall Out Boy. I mean, like, with a passion. And even he likes that song. So, it's beautiful. Yeah, I actually walked down the aisle to it at our wedding, but I used the Vitamin String Quartet version to make it a little more wedding friendly, I guess. I didn't want my grandma to be like, what are they saying in this song? But it's beautiful. Runner-up for second favorite song is probably Constantine by Something Corporate. My favorite recent song, that you might have actually heard on the radio in the past year, is Little Talks by Monsters and Men. I am obsessed with that song, and the rest of that album is really, really good too. So you should check that out if you haven't already. Do you have any plans for the summer? Yes. I am going on a road trip with my friend Hannah, which is something we used to do before I got all married and stuff. We're going to go to Houston and to Dallas and to Oklahoma City to see Big Time Rush. Our former road trips were all chasing around the Jonas Brothers. I was the only person she knew who liked their music, so I was the only one who would go to concerts with her. Well, at first. Then she met a gajillion other people who are like way more into the Jonas Brothers than I am. But, we would drive around and see them, and it was fun. So, now she's all into Big Time Rush, so we're going to go see Big Time Rush. And I'm excited to be going back to Houston. We went a few years ago. We went to the Houston Rodeo and saw the Jonas Brothers, and I love the rodeo, by the way. I've always been a rodeo lover, which my husband finds really strange, but the rodeo's awesome. And we just really both fell in love with Houston, and so I'm excited to get back down to Texas. I've never been to Dallas, even though my sisters live there for over a decade now. But she'll actually be in Tennessee while we're down there, so I don't get to go see her. But, I say a lot, I'm sorry about that. It's a habit. My sister, the one who lives in Dallas, always like, you sound like such a valley girl when you talk, and I'm like, no I don't, and she's like, yes you do, but whatever. There I go again. Other than that, I don't know if I mentioned we'll be going to Oklahoma or not. We'll also be driving through Arkansas and Missouri, where I've never been. So I'll be able to, knock a few extra states off my list there. I'm building a reading loft for my classroom this summer. So I've been researching some plans for that, and I'm pretty excited. I think the kids are really going to like it. I have some projects that I'm going to do around the house. I'm looking into it now, but I think I'm going to start acupuncture this summer. It can really help for fertility. And so I'm interested to see how that works out for me. And I'm going to take Archie for obedience classes. He's a good dog, don't get me wrong, but he needs to be better socialized, and he needs to learn to be a little more calm, I guess. He gets very, very excited, and he needs to take a chill pill once in a while. And, if things go with obedience class, I would like to eventually have him trained to be a therapy dog. I think he'd be good at it, and I think that I would enjoy doing that with him. I like to find ways to give back to the community, and I think that would be a fun way for, me to have him do it too, because he's darling. Nobody can ever resist him because he's the cutest little thing ever. And so I think he could be a big help to others, and I would like to be a part of that. What is the last book you read? The last book I read was actually A Clash of Kings. It's the second book from the A Song of Ice and Fire series, which Game of Thrones is based on, and it's amazing. And I really want to read A Storm of Swords, and I am third in line at the library for it, so I might just end up buying it, because I really, really want to read it. I'm a big reader. Let's see. Do you make money from your blog? Yes, but not much. I think I've made under $100 altogether. Most of that has been sponsored posts, which I've had like 3, I think. I made $5 off an ad once. But I'm not really in it for the money. At one point, I thought I kind of might get into it for the money, which you could probably figure out from that post I posted the other day, about being blog famous. But I monetized my blog because things have been hard on us financially for a little while. They're getting better now, finally, though. Finally. But, you know, any little bit was helping. And that's why I decided to monetize my blog. But it's not a huge deal to me. You know, if people want to pay me, awesome. If they don't, good for them. You know, not the end of my life. What are you doing for your birthday? I am going to the zoo. Tom and I were going to go to the zoo for my birthday 3 years ago on what was our second date. It got rained out. We ended up going to the Indianapolis Museum of Art instead. And we said we were going to go to the zoo that summer, and it never happened, and we still haven't gone. So we're going to go this year. But he starts work on my birthday, so he's not going. But I'm going to go with my best friend and her son, and now her mom and nephew as well. So we're just hoping it doesn't rain, because I don't know what we're going to do if it does, because I don't think Eli, her nephew, is going to enjoy the other things I would want to do quite as much as I would. So we'll see. Do you have any weird little quirks? Yes. My biggest one off the top of my head is probably that I have to listen to things, like the volume has to be in increments of 5. Like we normally keep our TV around 25. If it's on 27, I go nuts, and I have to have it, like I have to have it lower. And then if my husband's like, I need the TV to be louder, I put it up to 30. Because I don't know why, but it has to be in increments of 5. I'll admit that's weird, but I have other little quirks too, but I can't really think of any off the top of my head right now. But I'm full of them. What blogs do you like to read? Okay, admittedly, I've been slacking on the blog reading aspect of being a blogger lately. I've been super, super busy with the end of school and everything. So I'm hoping that, you know, this summer I'll be able to really devote more time to reading blogs and things like that. I like mommy blogs. A couple of the ones I would like to read are Growing Up Geeky and The Accidental Wallflower. I like Young House Love. I read a lot of blogs. I actually have a list of blogs that I like to read that I keep meaning to put up, and I keep forgetting to. But I'm going to be redoing the blog soon. Yeah, go figure. So I'll make sure that it definitely gets up then. You'll be able to get a taste of the blogs I like to read and check them out for yourself. Recently, I've been reading Full House Reviewed a lot. I'm in the 6th season right now. But I've taken a break for the past week or so because I've been on Gomi all the time, reading threads about bloggers I don't even know just because they're fascinating. I'm currently reading the That Wife thread. I have never read anything on That Wife, and from what I've read in the thread, I don't think I want to, but it's interesting, to say the least. I'm addicted to Gomi. That's getoffmyinternets.net, for those of you who don't know. It's basically a place where people come to complain about bloggers. I would always use that kind of odd that I might love it as a blogger myself, but I love it. It's hilarious and usually pretty valid. So, yeah, if you don't have anything to do, you might want to check it out because it's a good time. And that is our last question. And I have been rambling now for about 25 minutes. So if you've held out this long, congratulations. I'm sorry I talk so much. Then thank you for being a Good Girl Gone Wife reader. I really, really, truly appreciate it. And I really hope that, you're still going to be reading next year. So thank you for making these first 2 years of Good Girl Gone Wife such an enjoyable experience for me. Thanks.